Years, especially up in Cuyahoga County. Jay, we thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
News Channel, of course. Patty Ann?
Well, Eric, what is it like, you wouldn't know, to be a woman on the Donald Trump campaign trail? Fox Report anchor Harris Faulkner talks with Laura Trump about leading a coalition to encourage more women, mothers, and people of color to vote for her father-in-law. Laura is the wife of Eric Trump, and with the race so nasty now, Harris asked why she would want to jump into the fray.
If you wanted to sit back and be supportive behind the scenes, you could do that. Why put yourself out there?
This is the most important election of most of our lives. And I think that we have an opportunity right now to turn around the direction of our country. And if I can change the way that people see Donald Trump and show them the man that he really is, the good-hearted man that really wants to put our country first, put Americans first, then, you know, I'm happy to take any criticisms I get.
And you can watch the entirety of this special talk with Harris Faulkner on the Fox Report at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Eric? Oh, it's me. Vice President Joe Biden making news this past week, saying he expects the prison at Guantanamo Bay to finally shut its doors before President Obama leaves office in January. Lucas Tomlinson has more.
That is my hope and expectation.
The Vice President answering whether the Guantanamo Bay Military Detention Center will be closed by the time President Obama leaves office. One GOP senator had a one-word answer: nope. Critics say only hardcore jihadists are left at the controversial facility, some who could potentially return to terrorism.
President Obama's own Guantanamo Review Task Force determined
individuals must remain in detention. The Vice President answering whether the Guantanamo Bay Military Detention Center will be closed by the time President Obama leaves office. One GOP senator had a one-word answer: nope. Critics say only hardcore jihadists are left at the controversial facility, some who could potentially return to terrorism.
President Obama's own Guantanamo Review Task Force determined that most of the remaining detainees were too dangerous to transfer. And right now what's happening is that a lot of these detainees who were supposed to be tried or held indefinitely are now being approved for transfer.
Earlier this month, the Pentagon transferred 15 detainees from Gitmo to the United Arab Emirates, the largest transfer under President Obama to date. Of the nearly 800 prisoners held at Gitmo since 2001, 61 remain, 20 now eligible for transfer. The Republican chairman of the House Armed Services Committee reacted to the vice president's comments in a statement to Fox News, quote, "The only people who want to bring terrorist detainees to our shores are President Obama and Vice President Biden. That is the reason that bipartisan majorities have consistently acted to prevent them from being transferred here." The Pentagon spokesman says the defense secretary knows some individuals must remain in custody.
There are some detainees at Guantanamo who absolutely should not be released, and he has no plans to release them. But he also believes that it can be done safely and perhaps more economically to house those detainees in a facility here in the United States.
This week, Abu Zubaydah faced an interagency review board similar to a parole hearing. He is considered a high-value detainee because of his close ties to Osama bin Laden and other high-ranking al-Qaeda leaders. His profile sheet says he was, quote, generally aware of the impending 9/11 attacks, and some of his former colleagues continue to engage in terrorist activities.
And that was Lucas Tomlinson in Washington. Thank you.
And Patty Ann, some new